Peace everybody, back with another video. This is HBO fails to get $100 million Leaving Neverland suit from Michael Jackson estate tossed. And of course this is an update of it about the lawsuit. And as you can see, here is the screenshot of Michael Jackson with Wade Robson when he was a little boy. And of course, you know, HBO is, I don't know, HBO needs to go for real. The federal judge in the battle between HBO and the estate of Michael Jackson over the Emmy-winning documentary Leaving Neverland has made his tentative ruling now final. So now you got the federal judge, they had made his ruling and the final decision. And of course HBO, you know, I mean, they should have never aired Leaving Neverland because it was all one-sided, and now you got the judge had made his tentative ruling now final. In a decision filed late on September 20th, Judge George Wu reaffirms his inclination of September 19th to toss aside the premium cabler's anti-slap motion, meddling several other early rulings into one. The LA-based judge also basically sent the whole matter into arbitration, as he said he would earlier this summer. So the decision was filed late on September 20th. Judge George Wu reaffirms his inclination of September 19th to toss aside the premium cabler's anti-slap motion. So it was tossed aside, meddling several other early rulings into one. The LA-based judge also basically sent the whole matter into arbitration, as he said he would earlier this summer. So the whole thing just got sent into arbitration, which means an October 3rd scheduled status conference could be a real thriller. Yep, I went there. So October 3rd is the next scheduled date, and the conference could be a real thriller. So this is what it means, that is going to be the next court date. The multi-million-dollar attack on the controversial Leaving Neverland documentary in HBO by Michael Jackson's estate will dance on, at least for the time being. So you got the multi-million-dollar attack on the controversial Leaving Neverland documentary, and it should have never gotten an Emmy for it. Never. And of course, you know, Leaving Neverland is a one-sided show. There's no two sides or anything else. It was all about Wade Robson and James Safechuck, who lied through their teeth to destroy Michael Jackson's legacy and everything else. In a tentative ruling in federal court this morning, contemplative Judge George Wu said he's leaning towards rejecting the premium cabler's desire to see the $100 million lawsuit dismissed. However, Judge Wu has been known to change his mind, so the true call will have to wait until he issues a final ruling on HBO's anti-slap motion later this month, a motion that Judge Wu actually suggests to the outlet's lawyers a few months ago. So now the anti-slap motion, HBO should have filed it, but they didn't. So now we got Judge George Wu said he's leaning towards rejecting the premium cabler's desire to see the $100 million lawsuit dismissed. However, the Judge Wu has been known to change his mind, so it all depends on how he's going to do this. As for the home of Game of Thrones, well, they are going to hold their power We are waiting to see the judge's final decision, and an HBO spokesperson told Deadline today. So you got an HBO spokesperson that told Deadline that they are waiting to see the judge's final decision. Now, more likely, the judge will go towards the Jackson estate because HBO has really caused a lot of damage and everything by airing Leaving Neverland after the Jackson estate said no, don't release it. Leaving Neverland details specific claims by Wade Robson and James Safechuck that they were sexually abused by Jackson when they were children. No shocker, the estate of the deceased once superstar disagreed with the allegations and the film itself, which is why the two sides are in court now. And so Wade Robson and James Safechuck, they both lied, saying, oh, Michael Jackson sexually abused them, and that was never the case. Never. They lied. They did it for the money because nobody would hire them for a job. Well, I would not hire them either. So, and of course, they said, no shocker, the estate of the deceased one superstar disagree with the allegations in the film itself. So, Wade Robson and James Safechuck, they both need to be locked up for false allegations against Michael Jackson. HBO has tried everything possible to avoid having a trier of fact adjudicate their wrongdoing. Friedman and Tatelman's Brian Friedman said on behalf of the estate after today's hearings. So HBO is trying to avoid all the wrongdoing, but they know what they did was wrong, because Dan Reed himself is also a liar too by editing the tapes. And of course, with Wade Robson and James Safechuck, somebody coaxed them to say what Michael Jackson did to them, and allegedly did to them, and it was not the truth at all. So whoever coaxed Wade Robson and James Safechuck, they're going to be in trouble with him. If HBO believes its actions were proper, then there is no reason for them to try and hide behind procedural technologies to avoid an arbitration or a trial. The attorney added of their fight to get the matter surrounding the now Emmy-winning Dan Reed directed film pulled into a public sphere, whether in an arbitration, federal court, state court, or the Court of Appeal. The estate of Michael Jackson will force HBO to be held accountable for its wrongful conduct. So, you know what, and I do hope the Jackson estate do force HBO to be held accountable. I really do, because HBO had no right doing what they did. And Dan Reed, he's praising Wade Robson and James Safechuck. Oh yeah, I'm glad, I believe you guys. No. They are not believable. They're not credible. Wade Robson and James Safechuck are liars all the way through, and they even admit they're compulsive liars. So what does that tell you? You can never believe anything what they said. Appeal being an operative term, here, as both sides are expected to take whatever ruling Judge Wu ends up finally handing out to another court in another swing. So whatever ruling that Judge Wu ends up finally handing out to another court in another swing, so whatever decision that will be on October 3rd is the decision that it will be. The August 15th move to dismiss from HBO's Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher LLP and O'Malvany and Myers LLP legal team, following a ruling in late May by U.S. District Court Judge Wu to deny the Jacksons' estate's desire to have the whole thing shut away behind closed doors, and he decided by the American Arbitration Association. The estate also lost out in its aim to have the lawsuit sent back to state courts, so they lost out on that one. But District Court Judge Wu to deny the Jackson estate desire to have the whole thing shut away behind closed doors, and it be decided by the American Arbitration Association. So, and of course, this is sad that the Jacksons estate have to battle with HBO, but you know what? HBO need to be held accountable for their wrongdoing. Having fumbled in getting HBO to shutter the debut of the disturbing docu earlier this year after its police protected Sundance premiere lawyers from Kinsella, Weitzman, Isir Kump, and Al Dissert LLP and Friedman. Taltman LLP launched a mega box suit in Los Angeles Superior Court, seeking action against the March 3rd debating film. The estate's attorney also cited a portion of a 1992 deal between Jackson and HBO over a concert special as proof of the legal miscarriage by the premium cabler. So, having fumbled in getting HBO to shutter the debut, it did not deserve an Emmy at all, and is seeking action against the March 3rd debuting film. The estate's attorney also cited a portion. So the police protected Sundance premiere. Well, it didn't protect it enough, because when the Jacksons estate told Sundance and HBO, please don't show the documentary, they did not listen. And of course, the police, they're so petty, they don't care what anybody says. That reading of the almost 3-decade-old agreement didn't get much movement for the estate, but the case then moved to federal court in early March for jurisdictional reasons. That move came just over a week after Leaving Neverland played to some of the biggest documentary viewerships for HBO in the past decade. So there were other documentaries as well that was playing on HBO as well, but I mean, it's just a whole bunch of them. And of course, that move came over just a week after Leaving Neverland. And of course, these are 3-decade-old agreement didn't get much movement for the estate, so the Jackson estate didn't really get much movement on the pair agreement thing. Mocked by Dave Chappelle in his latest Netflix special, which drew a response by director Reed, Leaving Neverland won Best Documentary or Nonfiction, special at the Creative Arts Emmys on September 14th. So it got the nominations for the so-called documentary that's not really a documentary. It's like a soap opera. Leaving Neverland don't deserve the Emmy at all. It really doesn't. Dan Reed edited those tapes. He even knew that he should have never done it, but he went and did it anyways. He should have never believed Wade Robson and James Safechuck, but instead, I'm taking yours too. Come on. No, you don't do that. It's just terrible that this Leaving Neverland got the Emmy for it, and now HBO is in a whole lot of trouble, obviously, and of course the Jacksons estate is going to do whatever it takes to get HBO to drop whatever it is that they're supposed to be dropping. Leave your comments below. I am out.